Let's go shopping at Sephora and Ulta, but on a budget. So the total I spent at Ulta was we will not be going in debt for makeup, okay? Finding things under $30 was harder than I expected. If you're new to my channel, I love posting shopping videos and trying new beauty products, but I come from a very critical point of view. I also encourage financial responsibility, mindful spending, and budgeting because we will not be going in debt for makeup, okay? I feel like budgeting has this negative connotation and tends to be associated with words like cheap, broke, or affordable, but budgeting really just means putting money aside in certain areas that you can spend later. So really, your beauty budget can range anywhere between $5 to $1,000 a month. It just depends on what your actual income is and how much money you have left over to spend on beauty. Budgeting does not mean that you have to deprive yourself of things that you love in life and little things that spark joy in your everyday. Personally, for me, I see budgeting as a way to give myself permission to actually spend money on the things that matter to me, of course with a threshold so I can be sure to pay my expenses, my bills, and anything else I might be saving up for in the future. In November or December, I really can't remember, I posted a $50 budget shopping video at Sephora, and it seemed to have taken off because a lot of other content creators mimic this challenge, and it made me realize that people actually like this type of content. And when I was reviewing my channel, I also realized that I haven't done a budgeting video in a while, and in the month of April, I spent a lot of money on makeup and beauty specifically due to the Sephora sale, so I wanted to instead scale back today for those of you who might have a smaller budget, and we're gonna find out what we can actually buy at Sephora and Ulta for $30. Now, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend like you can get multiple things at Sephora and Ulta for $30. That is a pretty small budget, especially when it comes to beauty and makeup, because due to inflation, prices have skyrocketed and they keep going up and up. It's absolutely insane. So I'm not going to try to reach for quantity in this video. Like, I'm not going to try to buy as many things as possible. Instead, I'm just going to share with you what I would recommend within that $30 range. I'm a big believer in quality over quantity, even though it doesn't seem like a better value, but in the long term, sometimes I think it is worth it buying one product for $30 or two products for $30 instead of trying to buy as many things as you can for $30 and the majority of those products being crappy, eventually being decluttered or thrown out. And that is kind of the perspective that I'm coming from in this video. So if you want to find out if I passed or failed this challenge and was able to only stick to $30 at Sephora and $30 at Ulta, then keep on watching. Today's first stop is Sephora. We're not grabbing a basket though, because this is not a shopping spree, okay? Fenty is going to be out of our budget, but I did want to swatch some of their new products. The hydrating foundation is so freaking beautiful, but as expected, a little bit too wet and too hydrating for my skin and taste. I've also been interested in the highlighter. It wasn't as subtle as I preferred it to be, so I'm really glad I didn't spend $40 on this during the Sephora sale. This palette is another product that is on my wish list, but way out of my price range today, so we're going to wait. You notice how the display labels it viral bestsellers? That's how they get ya. House Labs is now my favorite new blush formula. If you're okay with being slightly over budget by $2, I would highly recommend. I also love the Huda Beauty Peach Color Corrector. It's the first peach concealer that actually works on my brown skin, and it's exactly $30 plus tax, so keep that in mind. If for some reason a full-size product is out of your price range, I highly recommend getting a mini. I wish they had the fragrance-free version of the powder, but for $22, the mini is the same great formula formula and it will last longer than you think. Alright, this is out of our budget too, but I had to take a look. The YSL bronzer is on my wish list, but she's a bit pricey. I think I'd wait for a sale before making this purchase because it is just way too expensive. Plus, I recently just purchased a new bronzer during the sale. Armani Beauty has a new lip gloss in town, but y'all, it's $38. It's a definite skip. It's not even that pretty. Let's look at things that are actually in our price range now. Glossier, although can be slightly overrated, their prices do fall within our budget. I used to love the Glossier Cloud Paint in Dusk, so much so I'm considering repurchasing it for $22. They also have bronzers now for $22, which was very tempting. I've been eyeing these for some time now. Their Balm.coms are $14 each, but they're actually selling a whole set of 5 Balm.coms on their Glossier website for $25, which would make them $5 each. I highly recommend buying from the website instead of buying them at Sephora if you want to get multiple. If you're looking for a blurring cream blush, Danessa Myricks has one for $25 and I've heard incredible things about it. Rare Beauty is also another brand with more mid-range prices, and of course you know I love the highlighters for $25 and they finally have shades for deeper skin tones. I'm also very obsessed with their cream bronzer sticks for $26. They are so easy to use and blend beautifully on the skin. And don't sleep on the eyebrow gel for $17. I am a very picky gal when it comes to eyebrow gels, and this one actually met my high expectations. It has a strong hold without leaving white residue or making your eyebrows crunchy. I'm really considering the new Supergoop sunscreen tint for the summer. I've never found an actual tinted sunscreen that blends onto my skin, so I'm very excited for this. However, it's $44, which is out of our budget, so I think I'm gonna have to wait until I finish my current sunscreen and then I'll grab this. The Laneige lip sleeping masks are $24, which will last you forever. I've had mine for 2 years and I still have so much left, and their lip balms are $19. But what I really wanted was the strawberry scented Ole Henriksen lip balm for $22. It's a little bit pricey, but I would prefer this formula, and unfortunately they are sold out. Comment below a sad face emoji if that's ever happened to you, because I'm sure it has. And if you're into body sprays, the Sol de Janeiro Mist are $24 each. My favorite scent that I have yet to buy is actually number 59. It's a really nice warm vanilla sugary scent. They also released a new summer scent which is available online, so be on the lookout for those if you already have a lot of the current body sprays. And I've been seeing this sunscreen literally everywhere on the internet, and it's $35, but I would highly recommend instead getting the Elle sunscreen for $14 because they give a very similar vibe. Another brand I would recommend in the $30 price range is Tower 28. Their lip jelly formula is one of my all-time favorites, and it's $16. I'm currently debating on getting the almond shade, and I don't usually like cream blushes or bronzers, but this is an exception, and it's $20. Of course, we can't forget the Tower 28 lip softies for $16. This one smells like coffee candy, and I kind of want to buy this too with the jelly gloss. But then if I get both, I'd be going over budget by $2. I can't decide. I felt like this would also be a good opportunity to finally try the Solo Shadows from Merit. It's $24, but I feel like I want the lip products more, so maybe another time. And again, if you want to try something but don't have the budget for the full size, then get the mini. Yes, it's mathematically usually a bad value, but it's also a bad value to buy a full size product for the full price and never finish it. That's just my opinion. They also have mini versions of some of their more popular skincare products under $30 from Supergoop to Glow Recipe and even Westman Atelier if you want luxury. And a good amount of Milk makeup products are also under $30, like the bronzer sticks and blush sticks. And best of all, they have my favorite one size setting spray in a mini for $17 if you want to try it out. Okay, after going back and forth, I've decided what I wanted to buy, and unfortunately ended up spending a little over $30 with taxes, but watch until the end to find out what I actually bought. Moving on, we are going to Ulta. If you were to choose to shop at Sephora or Ulta for the rest of your life, which one would you pick? Personally, I'm definitely an Ulta girly when I'm on a budget, but I would choose Sephora if I had the money to splurge. Jumping in to the first thing I heard great things about is the Revolution Skin Silk Serum Foundation for $14. But y'all, am I crazy or do they have the worst shade ranges I've ever seen? The swatches do not look like human colors. Skip any of the bronze or glowy products at Sephora because L'Oreal Lumi Glotion is the way to go for $17. Plus, right now, it's buy one, get one 50% off. And if you want the most full coverage concealer of all time, try the L'Oreal Infallible Full Wear. There aren't many good drugstore powder blushes, but the Infallible blushes for $16 are one of the best. But be careful though, they're pigmented. The bronzer was even on sale for $7.99, which was very tempting, but I'm gonna take a break from drugstore bronzers for now. Now, if you're looking for the best setting spray, Milani is where it's at. I've never tried the matte or sunscreen version, but the clear OG is just as good as the Charlotte Tilbury setting spray, in my opinion. I also get a lot of questions on foundations for dry skin, and the ColourPop Pretty Fresh foundation is what I would recommend. For $16, you'll get a light to medium coverage, glowy, light skin foundation. ColourPop also has the best budget-friendly eyeshadows. This cool tone palette is $14 for 9 eyeshadows, and the Super Shock eyeshadows are $7. So basically, if you wanted to get 2 palettes, it would be under the $30 budget. Now, I've never tried these, but I've been considering their powder blush and bronzers for $12, and the formula seems really promising. Do not sleep on the Real Techniques brushes, okay? Just because they're cheap does not mean they're bad. I have 3 of the setting powder blushes for $7.99 each. You can use this for powder, you can use it to blend out cream and liquid. It is so freaking versatile. One of my favorite brushes of all time. But don't even get me started on this new brush set for $18.99. I only really want it for the 3rd pink brush and the spatula, but I can't. In my last Ulta video, I did get a Morphe brush set that I still really like at the moment for $25. I would highly recommend if you're on a budget. Now, for all of you lip balm lovers, Lano Lips is apparently top tier. It is $13 for one, or you can grab the set. Speaking of top tier, the NYX bronzers are worth the hype for $10. You just have to find the right shade and use a very light hand. And instead of the new Hourglass matte powder, I recommend the NYX mattifying powder to throw in your bag for touch-ups. And it's $9.50 instead of $52. Or however much it is for Hourglass. I am so excited to finally see the NYX Bling glosses available in store for $6. The shades are actually a lot more glittery in person, and I'm kind of in love. Should I buy it? The last thing I'll say about NYX is that this is the best brow pen in the game. Enough said. And at Elle, you can get potentially a Laneige lip balm dupe for $4. Y'all have recommended this to me, but since I just got the Tower 28 lip balm, I don't think I need this. And this is the first liquid contour that actually shows up on my skin. Highly recommend, and it's $9. Now, if you didn't want to pay for the Rare Beauty blush for $24, you can grab the e.l.f. liquid blushes for $7. These are personally too dewy for me, but it's still a high quality formula. And if you wear fake lashes, skip Kiss and get the Ardell press-ons for $13. Just trust me on this. And for my press-on nail girlies, 3 letters, OPI. They are the most high quality press-ons that actually fit my fingers for $14. The only thing is that I don't like the glue that it comes with, so I used Kiss nail glue instead. Damn y'all, I really had my heart set on this strawberry lip balm being in stock at Ulta, but nope, of course not. So moving on. If you haven't tried the About Face liquid eyeshadows yet, this is your sign. For $16, they can be used as eyeliner or eyeshadow, and the shade I use most often is the brown color in Cloned. What I personally really want to try is the About Face foundation, and I can't believe it actually fits within our budget. But I just bought a new foundation, so I'm thinking I have to wait a smidge longer. We're gonna take one last look at Benefit, and lo and behold, they have the new Benefit lip tints. Again, if you watch my videos, you know I was really looking forward to these, so I spent like 20 minutes trying to find the shade that I wanted. So I think I'm going to buy it. I don't know, you'll find out in 3, 2, 1. Man, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I failed this challenge and I am not proud of it. Part of me felt like maybe I shouldn't post this video, maybe I should retitle the video, but then I thought that it would be more authentic and more helpful to actually show how I failed, why I failed, how I could have prevented this in the future, and how I can do better without beating myself up about it, because at the end of the day, we all make mistakes, and that is something that I've struggled with in the past, is just beating myself up every time I go over budget, every time I make a mistake. But it's not the end of the world, okay? As long as we're not going in debt for makeup, and as long as we're still having money left over to eat and have a roof over our head, it's not the end of the world. Do I want this to happen every time? Definitely not. But sometimes in order to learn, we have to make mistakes. So with that being said, let's move on to the first purchases I made, which is at Sephora. Now, surprisingly, Sephora, finding things under $30 was harder than I expected. I thought about doing like a $20, $25 challenge, but I just knew that at Sephora, you'd only really be able to get minis for that price. And a lot of the products at Sephora, it like opened my eyes, because I realized that the starting points for a lot of brands was like $32, $34, which is kind of insane when you really think about it. But at the same time, I also realized that there are a few brands that are $30 and under, which made it realistic to actually buy products that are within the budget. Not only that, when it comes to body sprays and lip balms, a lot of the products were under $30. They were like $15 to $18. And this made me realize why some of these products are actually really viral. I think because of the price, it's a little bit more accessible for some people, especially if you are a Sephora kid or you have a Sephora kid. Your budget is not going to be $40 for one product, $50 for one product. You might have like maybe $20 to spend at Sephora, and that is likely why lip balms and body sprays are the it item for Sephora kids. It makes sense because those products are also what I would consider to be age appropriate. But that being said, I did end up buying 2 lip products, and the total ended up being $32 plus tax, so that ended up being $34. Yes, I did go over budget, and granted, I didn't have to buy both of these products at all. Actually, I could have just bought one of the products, stayed under budget, and if I'm being truthful, I just couldn't decide which one I wanted more, so I felt the need to buy both. And the products that I bought are actually from Tower 28. I really like Tower 28 because they make their products for sensitive skin. Not only that, their prices are pretty decent, especially being sold in Sephora, and their lip products are just as good. The first one that I got is the Lip Softy Lip Balm in the shade, what is this one? Dolce de Leche. This smells exactly like caramel. It smells so freaking good. And then I also got the Tower 28 Lip Jelly in the shade Almond, and these are both kind of like brownie nude shades. It is literally my favorite color to wear on my lips. I got the Tower 28 lip jelly because I love this formula. I had the shade XOXO sent to me in PR, and I was obsessed with it. I just wanted a different shade, and this brown shade is incredible. I'm gonna put it on my lips right now, actually. This was $16. Just the texture of this gloss, like lip jelly is the best way to explain it. It gives you that beautiful sheen on the lips. It's not too sticky, but it still lasts long on the lips. It's a little bit more of a thicker consistency, but not in a way that's uncomfortable. It's very plush on the lips, and they have such a beautiful range of colors, and for $16 for a gloss at Sephora, I think that's a pretty good price for it. And I know the shade is going to be something that I'm going to wear often, so I was really excited to finally buy this shade. It's been on my wish list for a really long time, and I haven't had the opportunity to actually pick it up because I've just been prioritizing other products. And as for the Lip Softy, which is just a lip balm, I could not get over how good this smelled in the store. It smelled so freaking good, and the shade shade, again, is more of like a pinky nude brown on the hands. When I put it on my lips, you actually don't see that much color at all. So that was something that I was kind of disappointed in because I thought it was going to be a lot more pigmented, and it ends up being a lot more clear on the lips. So part of me just felt like, okay, maybe I didn't really need this because it's not that special, but I do really love the smell, y'all. Like, I'm obsessed with the smell every time I apply it on. It just feels so cozy, I guess. And I also love the applicator of this. It has like the round tip applicator. It reminds me a lot of Carmex. $16 for a lip balm. Honestly, I realized that that's actually a lot. Like, we're paying a lot for a lip balm. Gone are the days where lip balms are like $3 to $8 at most, and now we're paying $16 for a lip balm, especially a lip balm with just very little color. With that being said, the question is, was this worth going over budget? No. No makeup is worth going over budget if you really think about it. But like I said, if you are able to find that extra $4 somewhere else in your budget, it's not that big of a deal as long as we're not going in debt for makeup. But if I were to look back on these purchases, I could have probably gone without the lip softy. I feel like something that could have prevented me from trying to make a decision right there and then in the store is by scoping out the Sephora website before I went in store, which is a smarter way to shop. I personally, by the way, do not like to shop online. I am trying to keep myself from shopping too much online because, one, I'm just tired of getting packages and piling up boxes and having to throw them away. Two, I just feel like I actually spend more money online because I'm not really like thinking through the purchases too well. I tend to like buy little bits here and there, especially if I'm buying from like different websites. I'll be spending like $50 here at Sephora, $50 at Ulta, $50 at another website, thinking like, oh, it's only $50, but when you add it all together, it's like $150. So for me, shopping online does not really work. It actually is more harmful for me, but going in the store gives me a little bit more perspective. I'm able to swatch the products and see if they're actually worth it or not in person, but it's not a fail-proof concept. I think for some people that might actually make you buy more impulsively. For example, these two products, if I had just thought about it before I went into the store, then maybe I wouldn't have bought both of them. Moving on to my purchases at Ulta. If you thought that my mistake at Sephora was a mistake, you're not ready for Ulta, okay? You're not ready for my Ulta mistake. At Ulta, I had a game plan, okay? I was like, I'm gonna look at all of the products that I've had on my wish list. You guys know I film criticizing new makeup releases, and I kind of look at those products to see what I'm interested in, and I knew that I was going to look at a lot of lip products. I also was looking out for the NYX Buttermelt blushes, and I mainly was planning to buy things from more the drugstore side of things, but nothing really interested me enough, and they didn't even have the NYX Buttermelt blush, so I didn't end up buying that. I did see the NYX Bling glosses, which was $6, and I really wanted to buy it, but I saw other products that for me were a bit more worth the purchase in the moment, and that's what I ended up going with. So first thing, let me check how much I spent at Ulta because I actually do not remember. So the total I spent at Ulta was double the actual budget. I spent $64.80. And it's so crazy that I went over budget at Ulta because Ulta has so many more budget-friendly products, the drugstore side of things. A lot of things are under $30 at Ulta, but again, I tend to go for things that I know that I really want to try, things that I feel like will have longevity, and things that I was going to pick up anyways. That's not an excuse for going over budget. I really could have just stuck to the damn budget. So the first thing that I bought is the Ardell Professional Naked Press-On Lashes. These were, I think, about $12, and I really love these, okay? I love these more than the velour lash extensions. They're half the price of the velour lash extensions, and to me, they were kind of the same. I don't wear them like every day. I don't sleep in them or anything like that. They're definitely more disposable lashes. I wear this like every other time that I film, and they just look so natural. If you're ever wondering what lashes I'm wearing, it's probably these ones, and the reason why I bought this is because I wanted to restock on them. Could I have really gone without making this purchase? Yes, I could have. I then realized that I actually had some leftover lashes at home, not the same ones, but the Kiss press-on lashes that I could have just continued to use until I ran out. But I don't like those, and that's why I ended up picking up the Ardell ones. And that's all fine and dandy, truthfully, but this is kind of where I went wrong. Benefit ended up releasing their plush tints and splash tints, and if you watch my videos, again, you know that I was really interested in these. These are Korean inspired lip tints, and I could not decide which formula I wanted. Because there are two formulas, the splash tint and the plush tint, one is matte, one is glossy, I literally just couldn't decide what I wanted. I swatched all of the colors in store. It was a hard pick, okay? It was a really hard pick. So I did a thing and I decided to just buy both of them. Now, if I was truly on a $30 budget, I wouldn't have purchased these. If anything, I would have put away the Ardell lashes and bought one of these so I can be under the budget. And that's just something that I would warn you again when going into the store. It's just that decision making, at least when you're online, you can really think it through a little bit more. But when you're in the store, it's really hard, especially if you don't have self-control, to just pick one, and that's kind of what happened to me. And the formula on these are so good, I do not have any regrets. It actually makes me question and start considering trying some K-beauty lip tints and lip products because I know they're cheaper and also there are more shades available. The one thing I would say about these Benefit lip tints is at Ulta, they didn't have all the shades available. The full shade range is available on their Benefit website, which I found kind of annoying because I just wanted it to be accessible at Ulta, but I did end up choosing for the plush tint the shade Fuzzy Slippers, which is definitely kind of like what would you consider this? Like a corally pink color. And then for the splash tint, I got the shade in Honeymooner, which is a kind of orangey peachy color. The packaging on these are so freaking adorable, and I just love the actual applicators. I was really happy with the colors that I chose. I really like the way that it looks on my lips, and I cannot wait to wear this all summer long because it definitely gives me that popsicle lip color without being like a bright red or a bright orange. If I find myself reaching for these often, I'm gonna look into some K-beauty lip products. Let me know what you would recommend in the comments below. I might even get more shades of it. Even though I did fail my own challenge, I did learn something from this video from having a much smaller budget than usual. When you have a smaller amount of money to spend, it makes you a lot more selective and thoughtful on what you're gonna purchase. So yes, I did go over budget when it comes to Ulta. I bought the lashes, I bought the lip products, but then when I went to check out the NYX bling glosses, it is $6, right? And that doesn't seem like a lot of money in the grand scheme of things, but I made that choice to buy these instead of the $6 bling NYX lip gloss because I had a feeling I was going to like these better, and I had the desire to buy these more than the cheaper product, which is the NYX bling glosses. Not only that, when it comes to the $30 budget, the products that I was most interested in seemed to be lip products, and I think everything I bought except the lashes were lip products. So I don't know what that tells you about the market and how things are priced, but lip products do seem to be on the lower end when it comes to pricing, especially at Sephora. When you look at the complexion products, the blush products, foundation, powder, everything like that, it was way over $30. At minimum, it would be $34 maybe for a concealer, but for foundations, those prices are high. Okay, and the sad thing about drugstore, even though we're in 2024, a lot of drugstore foundations I would consider to be good at this point. I personally really like a lot of drugstore foundations. The problem with drugstore foundations is that their shade ranges a lot of the time are crap, and if they do have a wider shade range, they're not always available in store, which is such a shame. And I think that's why high-end brands, luxury brands, prestige brands seem to know that they can charge more when it comes to foundation products. And also, we tend to value complexion products more because that's the majority of our makeup, which means we're willing to spend more money on it. So if I were to maybe change up my strategy in the future, I think that I would just make a better game plan before going in the store. Think through what they actually are going to have in store, check if they have it in store, and talk through it with myself before I actually go into the store with the theory that, okay, if I go into the store and I like all of these products, which one should I pick? Which one should I lean more towards? Now, looking at everything as a whole, I spent like $100 that day, okay? And if I had really thought through what was at Ulta versus what was at Sephora, I would have instead just passed on purchasing from Sephora. Completely just been like, you know what, I don't need the Tower 28 lip gloss or the lip balm. It's been sitting on my wish list for a while. It can probably sit there longer. I am more excited to buy the actual lip tints and maybe restock on the lashes. And I could have just gone that day with buying this. And that is kind of the danger sometimes of going to multiple stores or even shopping online. You think in your head that, okay, I'm only gonna spend $30 here, $30 there, and before you know it, you spent more money. And that's why it's important to keep a budget in mind. And to be fully transparent, for me as a content creator, this challenge was more of a hypothetical situation because I actually allocate more money every single month in my budget for videos slash buying beauty products for videos. So in this video, technically my budget was $60, but it wasn't a big deal that I spent over that amount because I actually have that room within my greater budget for the channel. So keep that in mind when you're watching these videos. I'll try to always give you my content creation point of view so that you can have more of a realistic thought process through this. This is also a reminder not to beat yourself up over your spending. Again, as long as we're not in debt, we're not hurting anybody, we're still paying our rent, and we still have food on the table, then at the end of the day, you can just improve and do better in the future. I think it's actually really harmful when it comes to your mental health and your finances to be extremely hard on yourself, because I think it's better to be gentle with yourself in the moment so that in the future you're not emotionally spending recklessly, because I have also done that. With that being said, we're gonna bring back the brush mic for the outro. If you want a video to learn how I actually budget beauty into my life, then let me know down in the comments below, because I'm very passionate about budgeting and I would love to share with you how I personally do it. My ultimate goal on this channel is to transition from primarily review videos to talking more about the correlation between beauty and money, but without actually having to go to the extreme of frugality or overspending. I kind of want to share how I find the balance between spending on beauty and my actual lifestyle. That is all for today's video. If you enjoyed it and want to see more budgeting shopping videos like this, then give it a thumbs up, because that's how I decide whether or not a video is worth posting. And if you have any budgeting tips or product recommendations, or not product recommendations, like de-influencing products, let us know down in the comments below. But as always, I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye!